Today I'm going to be unboxing the Step2 Great Gourmet Kitchen. It's a children's play toy with all kinds of cool stuff like a refrigerator, an oven, a coffee pot, a microwave. It's got a sink and a clock. I even see a little place to have you hold your phone while you're doing a recipe or something. So yeah, looks like it's gonna be fun. So I'm gonna get started here. So I'm not sure what tools I need right now, aside from a box cutter. Open this baby up. Looks like we got stickers, grocery bag, something else in there. Got a bag of all sorts of accessories, pans, a coffee mug. I see the faucet in there, colander right there. We got pieces of the kitchen. Oh, we got the microwave and cabinets. Some organizing baskets of some sort. We got the stove burner, it looks like. Some screws. Another piece that holds it together, I guess. It looks like a little shelf that sticks out that you put stuff on. Yeah, probably that piece. And last but not least, oof, careful with that. Looks like this is the main part of the kitchen here. Flip that there. A piece that fell off here that's kind of hiding in there. That's the main top, it looks like. Stick that there for now. Also got the refrigerator door that was just sitting in there, so I'm just going to leave that there for now. Get this big box out of the way. Okay, so I'm going to get this in position. Never done this before, so let's see how this goes. Stick this out here so you can hopefully see that. I'm not really sure what tools I need yet, so let's get the manual out. Well, there's the manual. Looks like you just need a Phillips screwdriver, and you will need 2 AA batteries that are not included. So, not even cheapo batteries came with this kit. Alright, so I'm going to get these pieces out and then grab a screwdriver. I'm just going to set these aside for now. I think I'll need most of these for a little while. Rip it open anyway. Same with this. I don't think I'm going to need this for a little bit, but we'll keep that in arm's reach. Trash. Alright, definitely need this stuff handy. This will be sitting up top. Alright, so get these parts ripped open. I do like to organize the pieces whenever possible. So I'm going to put these hooks. It comes with several of these hooks that I guess you hook pots and pans or something on. We'll see here shortly. I'm just going to put them in a pile. And there's a bunch of screws, but I'm actually going to get my magnetic parts bowl for that so they don't get lost, they don't move around. So I'm going to grab that. Okay, got this magnetic parts bowl. This is only a couple dollars at Harbor Freight, but it's nice because it keeps the screws from moving around. They won't slide off the table or wherever you're working and get lost, so I'm going to put them in there. Pretty cool. Looks like there's some random plastic pieces as well. I'll just I'll keep them in the bowl. Get some more trash there. Alright, let's see what we got to do here. First thing they want you to do is put a decal on. It looks like possibly a fake brick wall decal. Yep, that's exactly what that is. There's decals here, a brick wall, give it a fancy look. Some other decals of some food cooking, and a microwave display, the burners, clock, things like that. Looks like a cutting board is on this one as well. So, alright, so what they want me to do is grab piece D, which is this one here, put the decal on that. It's not super clear which direction they want you to do it, but I don't really think it matters. Looks like it does only fit one way, so that's good. So it's going to be decal L, which is this one here. Luckily it's coated with the letter that you need it for. Alright, so it just peeled off pretty easily. And I kept that middle section off because it looks like there's screw holes up in there. So I kept that off, but it looks like the picture has that on. So I'm going to put this on first. Alright, so that's on there. We do the other piece that's missing here that's going to get screws put into it. That's this square here. It came off on its own for me. Huh. That's odd. It looks like it's not even supposed to come off. It ripped off, but it didn't rip off evenly, like as if it wasn't supposed to come off. There's not like a perforated line for it to just come off, but on the picture it shows it's on there clearly, and there's screwing holes through it. So I guess I'll just put it on there and be consistent with the picture. Not going on there super neat, but we'll see what happens here. Alright, so we got that on. Okay, fancy stuff. Now, we're moving on to the next step. Step 2 here wants you to put the hook through those holes, which is one of these hooks. So what we're going to do is this hook goes, according to the picture, the hook goes up, which would make sense. So we're going to do that. I'm just going to try and find these holes now with these stickers in there. Easier said than done. Okay, I'm gonna have to put some force into this. Wow, that's really giving me some trouble here. I think that sticker's making it harder. I don't know why the instructions have the sticker on there, but it doesn't seem like it's supposed to be on there. Especially because it's really difficult. It's being really difficult putting this thing through it. So now I took the sticker off and now we have no sticker there, which shouldn't matter because this is gonna cover that anyway. So let me stick this in here. There's 2 holes and 2 pegs here, part of the hook. Looks like you're gonna need, oh, there we go. See, that pushed in pretty easily, so that's what that looks like in there. So that's done for now. All right, now there's another piece here, piece T, and there's another, it's like pointing at Q as well. So that looks like 2 pieces that go together. Looks like this one is T, and this one is Q. So the picture, the next direction wants me to put that together. Just put those pegs through the holes. There we go. And it opens and closes like that. And it looks like it just goes into this piece here that we were just working on. Looks like it slides right in, so it actually slides in, slides out. Pretty good there. Alright, so we got that. Based on the picture I'm looking at, I don't even know what that is, but I guess we'll find out. It might be like an egg pan or something that you put an egg in there and close it. I don't know, we'll find out. Alright. Looks like the next step involves a screw. There's no words on these instructions. It's just pictures, so you have to figure out what they're actually talking about. So it looks like 2 screws, and the picture will show you which screws, and it's pretty obvious too which screws they're talking about because one is a long silver screw, the other is a very short silver screw, and then the other one is a black plastic screw that's a little fatter too. So when the picture shows the part, it should be pretty obvious. So in this case, they want 2 silver screws, and it does tell you X2, which means they want 2 of them. It'll tell you the dimensions of the screw too, in case you're not really sure which one to pick. So in this case, they want 2 screws to go into this part here, although I'm not really sure why. That's kind of, there's no holes for this part. There's holes in here on each side, but there's no hole in the plastic kitchen part. So it looks like I'm supposed to just screw them in. Screw them right into the kitchen. That's weird. Okay, so I did some investigating. It looks like you do put screws into this thing, although it's not that graceful. So again, this piece here, there are 2 holes under it. The screws are crazy long, so it doesn't feel natural the way it goes in there. But I don't know if you can see that, but it's right in there. But I got a screwdriver and I'm gonna try this out and I'll let you know what happens. So I feel like it on my knee here is probably gonna be my best bet. But I'm gonna hold the lid closed as well, so I can keep this thing nice and firm because it moves around. all on its own, which is I guess why it needs screws. Alright, so I'm going to try and do this. I'm going to put some force on it to get it in there. Not too much force. It is a kid's toy. Okay, it's actually screwing in there pretty easily. Okay, so it's screwed in there actually pretty easy. So I'm going to do the same with this one. I'm going to hold the lid closed, keep this whole thing against my knee, stick the screwdriver or a screw in the hole. You can see that screwdriver sticking out, or screw sticking out there. Okay, it looks like it didn't screw in there very well. The screw is somehow sticking out in the back. I don't know if you can see that, but that looks horrible. So something didn't go right there. I'm gonna unscrew that. It must have been the angle at which I had the screw. So I'm going to try and angle it down into the cabinet. I'm going to try and angle it down in there more. This doesn't make any sense at all. I'm actually going to take this out for a moment. This doesn't feel right. So this thing is crooked right now with just having one screw in it. So I'm going to unscrew the other side. Just a little bit. Give it some wiggle room here. Okay, so I unscrewed it and now I can adjust this thing to make it straight. So I'm going to try and just screw both sides in a little bit at a time. So right now this isn't fully screwed in, but it's straight. So I'm going to try and hold this straight while I screw the other one in. Part of the way. I'm not going to screw it in the whole way. Okay, so I'm holding this in there. I'm going to put this down on the ground now. My knee's not going to cut it anymore. So I'm holding it straight to make sure it doesn't get crooked. Okay, now both screws are in there about the same, and this contraption is now straight, but I don't like how the screws aren't in there tight, so I'm going to see if I can tighten them each side a little bit at a time to make sure it stays straight. And I hold that lid closed again so I can get a better view. Okay, so tighten that. That's actually tight now on the right side, so I'm going to tighten the left side now. Okay, it looks like that's the way to go. So you're going to need to do that. Whenever you screw the screws in, don't screw one side in the entire way unless you screw the other side in also, if that makes sense. So screw one side in about 75% of the way, stop, and then screw the other side in about 75% of the way. Make sure they're straight, that this thing's straight, I mean. Because when I screwed the one in the whole way, it was totally crooked, pushed over to the other side, and then I could see the whole screw. So, alright, so that was a tough lesson, but nothing we couldn't figure out. So, okay, the next step is, looks like it's the other side now. There's a plain black sheet of plastic, and it looks like it matches up with this. So we're going to get this out, and looks like they have it flipped around this way where the flat piece here is down. There's our black sheet of plastic. Sits right on there. Easy enough, right? Now for this one, it actually uses those black fat little bolts here. They're just plastic, so you just push them in. You don't need a screwdriver. There's not even a screwdriver hole. Just push them in. So I'll show you what I'm going to do here. So gotta make sure the holes are lined up, of course. Then just take it and stick it in the hole. Actually, I'm going to put this on the ground so I can get some force on it. So make sure you're holding it. Try and hold it with your pinchers here. That way you're not putting it in crooked or forcing it where it'll break in half. Alright, it's in there a little bit, so I'm going to try and just push it down with my thumb now. Okay, that's not really feeling good. I'm going to take another one and see what happens with another one, because it's not just going in like it's supposed to. Jeez. It's not just going in. I'm going to try and get a rubber mallet for this. Alright, I got myself a rubber mallet and a stool, so let's see what happens here. Wow, that was perfect. So I got the rubber mallet out, I gently nudged it in, and now it's flush against the plastic panel. I'll do it again here. Okay, that's in there too. I'll keep on going. I got two more. Oh, two more. Looks like the holes don't perfectly match up here, so this will be fun. I moved the panel a little bit to get those holes to match up a little better. Okay, there's three. 1, 2, 3. We got one more to go here. Now this does not match up right, so that always happens with anything I build. There's always a toy or some kind of thing like a swing set where it doesn't fully match up. Just trying to go in crooked here. Okay, I had to hit it at an angle, but it actually took it, so looks like it's good to go. Alright, so that takes care of that. Now the next instruction calls for the last black screw plastic one with one of these weird, actually two of these weird pieces. And now that I look at it, now I realize it's the clock. So you have to stick the black screw through both holes. Make sure both holes line up. Right there. And don't drop them too many times. So you gotta apply some force here. I got it in a little bit. I'm not gonna put them in yet. I'm gonna check the next step real quick here. So the next step is to go ahead and do the clock, which is on this bigger piece here. As much as I like having a stool, it's just easier to move around on the floor. Alright, so they first want you to do the decal for the clock. So let's do that. here it is. Oh my gosh. Gotta be very careful because it looks like the sticker, it stuck back to the sticker paper stuff and it almost tore, so it's really, really delicate, and there's a circle in the middle too you gotta tear out. Almost destroyed it there. Alright, so of course you gotta make sure the 12 is up, like that. I'm gonna do this flat on the ground though, because I feel more comfortable doing it that way. Try your best to get that put on there straight. It's not always easy. Alright, so I pushed it in there, got that on there. And then we gotta take our minute and hour hands here, line it up with the hole and push it in. Now the picture shows the guy using, or gal using their thumb. I'm gonna put it flat on the ground again. Looks like it's giving me some trouble again, so I'm gonna use the mallet. Wow, you're supposed to use a thumb? Okay. Good luck using your thumb that hard. Alright. So now we're rocking and rolling here. Got the minute and hour hands here. I think it's about 9:30 here where I'm at, maybe 9:25. Okay. So what we're going to do now is there is a snapping tool involved here. The next step is the cabinet doors. I said a snapping tool because the instructions actually say snap. So we've got 2 little plastic handles. I'll take it out of this bag here. Somewhere. Oh, there they are. They're just that tiny. Okay, there's one. Little black handle. They blend in with this green carpet. Here's the other one. Alright. These are supposed to just snap in according to the directions. Once again, I'm going to flip this on its back. And see the little doors? There's 2 holes on each door. Looks like it doesn't matter which direction. They're both, it's just the same each way. Alright, I'm not going to push it the whole way down. I'm going to pull it out. Pull this door out. And pinch it. There we go. You heard the snap. Alright, I'm going to start it again here on the door. Snap, snap. There we go. Alright, we got the doors. That was pretty easy, actually. Alright. So the next step now is looks like the large part of the kitchen. Okay, this is a weird looking piece here. There's hooks. Oh, I see. Okay. The next step is step 12. Sorry, I haven't been telling you what step we're on. Next step is the bottom of this piece that we were just working on. It's the bottom here. They want you to put hooks on it. So here's your hooks, the 3 plastic hooks. And the picture is showing the piece facing this way where the cabinets are facing away from you. So remember that, and also remember the hooks, the open part of the hook is facing that way as well, that direction. So Just line up the pegs with the holes. There's 2 holes for each hook. Okay. Okay. Doesn't feel that great. It doesn't feel natural because the plastic is bending inward for the kitchen. I feel like I'm breaking it or something, but it eventually snaps in. Just gotta get it in there. We don't break anything. Okay. Alright. So if we flip it back up, you'll see there's the hooks. There's the cabinets. There's the hooks. And I'm going to put this back like that because the next step actually involves Okay, the next step involves this piece. So they want you to keep this big piece in front of you and take this piece where we put that black panel with the black plastic screws, take that and line it up. The picture is very difficult. We're on step 13. The white part of the door really blends in with this background. So what it looks like they're doing is putting it in like this, which would make sense, and I'm looking at the box now and it looks like that is the proper way they want us to do it. Under the microwave. That's not right. No. Okay. It looks like these drawings are so vague. Piece E. It does look like that's what they want to do, but it doesn't look like it lines up with the picture. Okay, it does line up with the picture. Okay, so what you need to do is the black part, the black panel faces out along with the cabinets that we did. There's 2 big holes, 2 big pegs. It all lines up nicely in an L shape. So stick that in there and push it that way. You might need to bang it, but it's in there. It's in there now. So that was step 13. Step 14 is going to be the same thing except with the other side. So our little egg pan thing or whatever that was, we're going to go over to the other side of the kitchen and looks like this. I'm looking and comparing the picture here. Okay, all right, got it. It's throwing me off looking at it upside down. So same story, 2 big pegs, 2 big holes. It lines up once again with the L shape. So looking at it upside down kind of throws me off a little bit. All right, I pushed it in with my thumbs, but I'm gonna give it a little bang bang there. All right, so it's starting to come together nicely here. So now it looks like they want us to screw them in because they definitely don't feel secure. So we got 2 more of these long silver screws, and there's 1 hole on each side of this contraption here. So what you're going to want to do is make sure you push this in enough where it feels like it's in there tightly. It's in there far enough. And there's a hole in the back, or at least an indentation. It looks like a hole. So stick that screw in there. I'm not left-handed, but I'm going to try and do my best here for you. It goes right in here, but I'm going to use my right hand here. I'm going to try and hold this with my left hand and push it with my right while I'm screwing it, because there's no pre-drilled hole. It's almost a hole, but not really. Alright, so I'm drilling it down at an angle. It looks like it's maybe 45-degree angle, maybe more. So, alright, I'm screwing that in. I'm not going to do super tight right away because I don't want to break it. Alright, same story over here. There's a hole down right here in this indent. Stick it in here. This is going to be a little tricky. I'm not going to be able to show this. I'm going to try and get this in there and hold this piece. Just make sure you hold that plastic piece so it stays in while you're screwing it. This might be a little tough. If you have a drill, if you want to pre-drill a little hole in there, that would probably make your life easier. But here we go, it's screwing in now. I'm gonna let go of that now because I don't need to hold it. Okay, again, I'm not going to screw it in super tight because I don't want to break it. Okay, that was step 15. Step 16 now, we can go ahead and slide this piece out of the way. As you can see, it's coming together nicely. It's upside down, but we're going to leave it like that for now. We're going to turn our attention to the bottom piece. Okay, we are now on step 16, which it looks like they want us to attach the handles to what looks like the stove. So we're going to do that first. Although, yeah, looks like we're going to be okay with the decals for now. All right, the stove requires, there's a longer handle that's for the refrigerator, but these two handles that are of equal size are for the stove and the other stove, I guess. Looks like there's two stoves. All right, so let's see what we gotta do here. Looks like it's just another, oh, this is not a snapping one. Looks like we got two screws. So we got the two black handles and we got those two short little silver screws. If I can get my hand on it, two little silver screws. So it doesn't matter what direction you put the handles. Just stick them in the holes. There's two holes. Stick the pegs in the holes. Open the oven up. Put the screw in there. I'm just going to do one at a time. Put the screw in there. You got to keep holding that handle with your opposite hand. Screw that in. Don't screw it too tight. Take the other screw, stick that in the black hole. Keep holding the handle with your other hand. Screw it in there until it's tight, but not too tight. All right, there we go. Same thing. Take your other piece, stick it in there in the holes. Get your screws. Keep holding that handle. If you're not able to use both your hands, then I recommend having a helper. I probably should have said that a lot sooner. Okay, all right. So we got both handles on. That was an easy task there. All right, so that was step 18, 17 and 18. We're gonna move to step 19, which is the refrigerator, which for some reason, the refrigerator has the snap action handles, which doesn't require a screw. So why the ovens needed a screw, I have no idea, but the refrigerator, the handle is, once again, it doesn't matter which way it goes, it's the same thing. So there's two holes in the refrigerator. Just stick those pegs in the holes, and we're gonna gently push it. Up, hear that snap? Okay. So refrigerator is good with the handle. That was step 19. Set that to the side. Step 20 requires you to, looks like they want you to turn around the refrigerator, the whole piece here. Turn it around. All right, looks like they're focusing on this top portion here. So what they want you to do now is piece B, which is looks like they don't show you the whole piece here, but if I'm looking at the diagram or looking at the box, it looks like that's the shelf. And if you go back to the beginning, you can see which piece corresponds to which letter. This is the second page here. So yeah, it is piece B, which is the shelf here with the cutting board. So let's go back to step 20 again here. And what they want you to do is, let's see. Yeah, looks like it just sits on there. So it literally just sits on there. There's two grooves here. Two grooves here and two things sticking out here where it lines up, where it just sits on it. But then you have to push it in toward the back of the kitchen. So push it in and you'll see it move and you'll feel it move. I'm just going to give it a nice little tap there just to make sure it's in there firmly. So that's all there is to that. No parts involved yet. And that's step 21. Also goes through giving it a tap in there and sliding it in. Step 22 now requires a screw. So we got the long silver screw. And I'm just going to get up here. And they're showing the guy from the back, or the gal. But I'm going to do it from the front. So it doesn't look like there's any reason to do it one way or the other. There is a hole, a clearly defined hole here. I'm going to flip this kitchen over so you can see. Right here, there's a hole. It's not really a hole, it's more of an indent, but it's thin enough where you can figure it out. You can get the screw through there. So the long screw goes in the center of that hole, right in the bullseye here. Just hold the screw with your hand and start screwing that in. Okay, it's going in. Now, before I go any further, I'm actually gonna make sure that's in there the whole way. You don't want to screw it in there crooked. All right. Once it makes contact with the plastic, you get a little break for a second, and then you feel it go into the kitchen part of it. All right. Now, if it starts to feel like it's tightening up, stop for a moment and look under there, because I can see that it's not yet down flush against the kitchen. So tighten it a little more, a little bit at a time, and then check to see if it's flush against the kitchen. It's still not. So I'm going to screw it in a little more. Not flush yet. A little bit more. Okay, it looks like it's just about flush. I'm going to screw it in a little more. Okay, I'm going to stop, because if you keep going, the screw's going to go right through that plastic. So just keep it like that. That is step 22. Moving on to step 23 now, which involves another 2 hooks, the last 2 hooks here. And it's not, looks like they're looking at piece C now, which I believe is the large black part. Yep. Piece C is the large black part that sits on top of the kitchen. So, okay, so you pick up the big piece and you can look and see that there's clearly defined places for those hooks. Now the trick is always to make sure they're facing the right way. So we're gonna flip it over here where the end, you can stick it wherever you want, but I'm gonna move this big piece out of the way. All right, so we're gonna look at the part where the hooks go is facing the left, my left side. And just make sure the open part of the hook is facing out, away from the rest of the piece. Again, line up the pegs with the 2 holes. These things are not super easy. Okay, that wasn't too bad. Alright. Put it in however you're more comfortable putting them in, but I'm always afraid I'm going to break it one way or another. Okay, those are in. That wasn't too bad. So that was step 23. Step 24 wants you to set this off to the side and grab your refrigerator door. Bring over the big part of the kitchen. Close this thing up. And it looks like the refrigerator just slides right on. It's not really sliding, but they make it look like that. So put this, there's a little peg thing sticking out, as well as a hole there you can see. Just line that up, just set it on there. It looks like you're gonna have to hold that on there. 24 and 25 show you how just putting the fridge, you know, putting it in that hole there. So you're gonna have to hold it and then grab that big black piece, number C, letter C. And looks like I'm looking at the kitchen the opposite now. So step 26 actually has you turn this around, but you still have to hold on to that refrigerator door, because for me it's trying to fall forward. All right, so hold that refrigerator door, get piece C, the big black piece here, and you're gonna make sure the sink is facing the front, of course, and easiest way, this black little piece here is sticking out, that's gonna face you, face the back. And so what you need to do is make sure the refrigerator, which is gonna connect with this hole here, is the other part that the refrigerator connects to. It's gonna be a series of lining things up because there's indents here that's gonna line up with parts sticking out at the top of the kitchen here. So at this point we just need to line everything up properly. Okay, so I'm gonna spin this around so you can see it better. I don't think it's helpful showing it from the back. Okay, so I got the top of the fridge lined up with the plastic piece, but then also make sure you're gonna push it back a little bit. Alright, there we go. So just make sure that lines up properly. And step 27 and 27, there's 2 little sub steps here. 27 is going to require a long screw. And there is another predefined hole that you're going to screw screws into. And this one shows behind the sink. Oh yes, okay, so that's actually, you're going to flip this back around. But make sure you hold this black piece where it doesn't slide off. So there's a predefined hole back here behind the sink in the black part there. I'm going to move over here. So make sure you keep that black piece steady there. There's a little hole. It's not a hole, it's more of an indent again. Put your screw in there, hold on to it. Give it a little force when you're getting it in there at first. Oh, see the black countertop slid on me there, so make sure you hold that steady or have somebody else hold it steady for you, because you're going to have to put some pressure on that screw. Alright, as I'm screwing it in, the black countertop's coming up a little bit. I can feel it, but it's going down now. Okay, there we go. I'm going to tighten it, but not too tight. Okay, that's step 27. 28 is pertaining to another hole. There's your screw. This is going to be over here where the looks like a burner is going to go. A sink burner. Not sink, stovetop burner. Okay. This is important because before you put the big topper on, this screw needs to go in. So it's behind where the stove burner goes. There is another indent, not a hole, but an indent. You can clearly see it right here. Stick that screw in there. Give it some pressure. Get that screw in there through the plastic. You can feel the countertop popping up a little bit. So make sure you can hold that in place, or have somebody hold it in place for you. Alright, screw it in there tight, but not too tight. Alright, that was 28. Step 29 is for the burner. Got a little burner here. But there is batteries that go in here. Actually, that's not the step right now. That is step 32. So skip that for now. We're on step 29, and they want you to get the knobs for the stove. Okay, 2 knobs. If you've had one of these type of things before, you'll recognize it fairly quickly. I'm going to turn this kitchen around. Little gray, silver plastic knobs. They're going to go in this. There's 2 holes here, right there where the burners are. All you got to do is just line up the little peg here in the hole, push it down, snap. Hear that? One more. Line up the peg with the hole, push it down, snap. Now if it worked, you should hear that crunching sound, cracking, whatever. There you go. That's done. That's step 29. Step 30, actually 30 was telling you to put the other one in. Step 31 now is to put the faucet in. There's the faucet. It's pretty simple to find here. And the faucet and the knobs to turn the pretend water on and off. There's one of the knobs. Alright, got knobs. 2 knobs. And the faucet. And looks like it might be another snapping action here. That goes, here's the sink, both sinks. And then the knobs go here, faucet goes here, of course. So just want to show you that. And let's put it in there, put the faucet facing that way, facing the front. Although it doesn't matter because you can turn it. So let's do the knobs, faucet, push it in there, they're all good there. That was step 31. Now step 32 has 3 steps, or 2 steps for 32, and then 33 is also part of this step, kind of. So they want you to put batteries in the burner because it's going to be an interactive burner, it looks like. So looks like you're going to need some pretty thin and deep screwdrivers, and that's not what I have right here, so I'm going to have to get one of those. But let's skip that step for now because I can't. Looks like there's more involved with that. Okay, I'm not going to skip that. Okay, so what I mean by the screwdriver is one of these little jobbies. It's real thin, or if you have something bigger that's still thin enough, that's fine too, whatever. And 2 AA. So there's 2 holes in the top of the burner, right here. Get your screwdriver in there. I was going to skip this thinking it was just putting batteries in, but it looks like there's more to that step. Okay, it looks like the screws didn't come out. Looks like they're not designed to come out, so just unscrew them enough where it loosens up. Leave them in there. So what happens is it exposes the battery part here. Put those batteries in properly, of course. And okay, set that to the side for a second. That's steps 32A, B, and 33. Okay, so this is the reason I didn't skip it, because step 34 has you putting this in the bottom part all by itself. So if we look at our kitchen from the top, there's 2 indents in there that you're gonna line up with the 2 holes in this piece. So I'm gonna do that. Line those up. And you're gonna need 2 of the short silver screws. So 2 of the shorties here. Right. Get those screws lined up with the indents. Put some pressure on the plastic, make sure you get through there. All right, tighten it. Not too tight. All right, line the other one up. This is a pretty simple step here. You just gotta make sure the holes are lined up, screw the screws in there. That's all there is to that. Okay, so we got that. That was step 34. Step 35 is just put the pieces back together for the burner. So now we're gonna line up those 2 holes on the top of the burner with the 2 holes on the other plastic piece, and you'll see that. So make sure they line up. They line up as gracefully as I expected, but they line up. All right, get that in there. Make sure they're on there properly, because they could easily be damaged, it looks like. So you're gonna need to do this every time you need to change the batteries. So I picked decent batteries, not great ones, but decent ones. That way they'll last for a couple months at least. All right, so I tightened it up. Now you can see, there it is. Now you put a pan on it. There's little buttons here that get activated depending on what pan you put on there. So that was step 35. Now we're moving on to 36. We're gonna turn this around and we're gonna put the big top piece on top of that one. Spin it around. Now I did hear some stuff moving around in there. That's pretty normal for these hollow plastic toys here. I can actually see some of the screws could probably go down or go screwed in further here. Didn't see that when I put them in. Let's get this put on first. So looks like there's only 2 holes to worry about, so get your 2 long screws out. 2 long screws. There's 2 indents here that it's not a hole, it's just an indent again. So let's get those in there. Now what we're gonna do is make sure this is held in place while you're screwing it in. So you either do your best with your 2 hands if you can, or get a helper. This is actually going to be a little trickier than the other stuff, possibly. A hole would be pretty handy right now, but there's no hole. So just do your best here with what you got, or get somebody to help you out, because I'm kind of hugging it right now and holding it with my hand to make sure it stays in place, because it's moving around fairly easily. Okay, it's going in there. Just make sure you hold that white top in place so it doesn't slide around, because it will connect crooked if you don't. Okay, remember, tighten it, but make sure you're not over tightening. But you gotta make sure it's flush against that kitchen piece, which it looks like it's good. And if it's not tightened enough, you'll know because it'll be wiggly. All right, I'm gonna stand here because I'm right-handed. Let me just make sure. Okay, yeah, it's definitely moving around. So you're gonna wanna make sure that's held in place somehow. I'm gonna have to get down and hug it again here. Maybe I'm just doing it all wrong myself, holding it like this, but that's just how I'm getting it done. Gotta get it done however you get it done, you know. Just make sure it's pushed in there. So I keep pushing it in and finding it's not. Worst comes to worst, just get the hole started. That way the screw's actually in this piece. Because this is it. I'm just gonna stop hugging it for now because this is a little trickier. If I was left-handed or ambidextrous, it wouldn't be that bad, but that's not me. So get it in that indent. Start the screw in that hole. It looks like it's in there now. So now I'm gonna slide it. Now I'm gonna make sure this piece is slid in there firmly. Once again, I'm gonna give it a nudge. Okay. The screw is now in the kitchen part, the brown part. Okay, make sure it's flush against the brown part there. Tighten it up a little more. Okay, that looks good. All right, what's next? That was step 38. 39 requires 2 more long screws, but this is going to be from the front of the kitchen. So we're going to spin this around again. Okay, I can see exactly where they're at. Okay. So over here on the left side, on the white piece here, there's a hole. Well, maybe it's just an indent again. And there's a indent here as well, but they're obvious, so you'll see where they're at. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of that. Get some pressure on there. You'll see the kitchen wiggles a little bit too because it's not secured yet, which is what we're doing now. Get that screw in there. Okay, start to feel it firm. Feel it firmly secure in there. Okay, it's still wiggling a bit. I'm gonna be careful now it doesn't get over tightened, but I want to get it in there. Okay, I feel like it's not gonna go any further. So it's still turning, but it doesn't feel like it's making any more progress. So before that starts to indent into the plastic, I'm going to stop. So we're going to do the same over here. Ooh. Just hit the burner. Ouch. All right, we're going to screw this in here. Same story, get that indent that's there in the plastic. It's obvious where that's at. Together stuff like this where there was no indent or hole, so that was a blast. Okay, so I feel it in there. I'm gonna give it a little more screw in there. Okay, it doesn't feel like I'm making any more progress, but it's in there firmly, and you'll see it's all moving together now, so that's nice. Okay, that was step 36. Step 37 requires you to spin this around again, or just turn around and walk over. Okay, 36, no, 37. Huh. 36, 37, I lost track of where I was there. How about that? Okay. Oh, I see what I did. I skipped from 36 to 39, so my mistake. It doesn't matter though, because what we're doing is just going around and securing the whole thing. So really what we're going to do now is 37 is screwing the holes here on each side, and you'll see there's, once again, there's indents where you'll screw it in, and there's a little indentation in there. No hole again, but there's little indentations in there you can feel with your fingertip. So let's go ahead and do that. That's step 37. I kind of skipped ahead there. But we got lucky because these steps don't need to be done in order. We're just going around and crossing the I's and dotting the T's. I know I said that backwards. All right. Now, let's get that in here. That in the indent. Gotta give it a little push there. It's definitely needs some force. Not too bad though, not too hard. If you have a drill, good for you. You can use that. I don't recommend it just because it's a plastic toy. It could damage it if you use it too hard. But if you're pretty seasoned at doing that, then go for it. 38, step 38 now. Actually, that's 37 and 38 we just took care of, so on that side. 39 is where we skipped ahead, and that was doing the front screws here on each side. So step 40, starting with step 40, it looks like we're just putting some things together. The accessories, I mean. So there's the coffee pot, the top, the middle, and the bottom. So this is just a matter of snapping stuff together. Looks like it. Yeah, that just snaps together. You'll hear a snapping sound. Not as loud as the other pieces we worked on. But now for this piece, actually that's not on the whole way. You can see when it's crooked. But this thing is a little tough to get on there, but okay. Now the handle goes on only one way. And you'll see there's a hole here that matches up with this part of the coffee pot. Just stick it right in there. Okay, that snaps on there too. Make sure that's snug. Okay, good. That is supposed to be according to the picture here, but we're gonna have a sticker that's gonna go there. That's step 40. Step 41 looks like the ketchup and mustard. For some reason those are two separate pieces for each one. Alright, you really want to have some fun with it and mix them up. Kids might not like that. Alright, okay. Those just take each piece, line it up, pinch it, snap. That's step 41. Step 42 looks like, according to the box, I don't know what that is for right now, but let's see. There's 3 of them. Oh, okay. They're tiny. That's why I couldn't find them. They're tiny little pieces here. I don't know what it is yet, but we'll find out soon enough. I don't see it on the box yet. There's lids. Okay, there's 2. Not 3. I can't count. Okay, so we got 3. They just go over it. Actually, there's little grooves in the lid that line up with the bottom, so you'll see that. You have to line that up. There is no snapping, but you'll feel it where it's on there secure. Okay, that had a little bit of a snap. Okay, a little bit of a snap. Okay, so that's done. That was step 42. That's it then. The only other part is putting the decals on, and that's just a matter of looking at the box or the directions here and putting the decals on. I'm not gonna record myself doing that because, yeah, I don't like that step, and it's self-explanatory, and I'm probably gonna mess some of that up and say some things that shouldn't be on video. So I hope you liked the video. I hope I helped you out putting this together. Looks like a nice sturdy unit. Hopefully this oven stays closed. I noticed it kind of popped open a few times, but we'll see. Looks like fun for a kid. If you have any questions, just leave a comment, and I'll do my best to get back to you.